Hello everyone and welcome to the part 3 of the Tic Tac Toe game development series in Typescript. Let's get into it. I don't think this will be the last part because what I plan to do today is actually to refactor a bit, make the code a bit better. I have asked a friend of mine to review the current code just for fun, and so he kindly did that. I really appreciate him doing that. So we're gonna look at his code review, and we're going to see if we can follow some of the things he has pointed out. Maybe we won't follow all of his ideas today. Maybe that will be for another video as well, but I'm gonna see if we can grab some of the low-hanging fruit here to refactor our code a bit. So first he lays out his idea of the architecture that I currently have. He says that Typescript is a good choice. The choice of TS Loader is also the most mature choice. Webpack, one of the most mature and flexible bundler. Require.js, he's saying that it's a bit redundant to use it. I actually think I have this as a dependency right now, even though we're not actually using it, if I remember correctly. Approach and technology, a game written using HTML5 canvas. Using canvas is an excellent choice. The application consists of 3 central abstractions, including canvas, grid, and app runtime abstraction. All 3 abstractions use class-based object orientation as abstraction mechanism. The dependency graph is not linear, but it's unidirectional. The canvas abstraction serves as a construction like a factory function and otherwise simply proxies properties of the provided canvas. This makes use of a class for abstraction of little utility. So basically, I've already read this, but he says that basically that I don't really need the classes that I have defined. We can make it more in a functional approach, basically. So one thing he points out here is that I am dependent on the canvas element. So having the constructor to take a DOM entity as a string input and calling the DOM directly on the global document is less than ideal, as it creates a direct dependency on the document. Also hinders users in situation where the element is not mounted yet or in the global document, among numerous other situations. Instead of the constructor could probably take an HTML element as an input. The property element ID is unused yet assigned in the constructor. The canvas abstraction serves to abstract the work done in the list above. If we remove the DOM side effect and acknowledge that the class properties provide no abstractions and just proxy element returned from the side effect, we can restructure the canvas class into a type created using a simple function. So maybe we should start by with a canvas. So if we go into the app here, we have the canvas class here. So yeah, as it says, it's very simple. So we don't actually need the class here. So what he's proposing is to just have a type like this. So I think we're just gonna copy this straight away, and we're gonna look at it, what it's doing. So basically he defines a type called canvas, which has an HTML canvas element and a context. And he also creates a sort of a constructor function that creates the canvas. So this is sort of all that we need, actually. He's very much right. So what we can do is we're going to export this, I think. We might want to use it. And then he has this make canvas function here. So I think that's all good with those two. I'm pretty happy about those. So this function here just returns a object with the element and the context. And that's basically all we need, I think. We might want to do, we could put the width and a height in here too, but I guess we could just grab them from the from the element, so we don't really need to do that. So now we can get rid of this whole thing, I think. Yeah, let's just get rid of this and see how we can use these two. So if we go into the app, are we referring to it here? Yes, we are. So in our app class, maybe this won't be a class later either, but for now we're going to start with the canvas. So now instead of doing new canvas, we're going to import make canvas, and we're going to do make canvas, and this takes in the canvas element. Okay, how did I all right, so we're still going to have a dependency on the document here because we're going to do like before we had this, but now we have to do like that. Maybe we will I mean, we will refactor this app class later as well. So, and then we have to do as HTML canvas element. We will refactor this too, so hopefully we can get rid of this class as well. So let me just have a sip of this. Property width does not exist on canvas, so we have some other problems here as well. We have to do .element. Actually, I think it's called element. Wasn't it called element? Yeah, let's just rename that to element like that. Okay, canvas dot ctx, and now we don't have this tick method anymore, and we actually never use them, so we don't really need them. One thing I see here right off the bat is that we could just do that. And okay, that's all good. Let's actually do the bundle thing so that we can see if we have any more errors, and we do have some errors in the grid. So here we're doing canvas.width, but we should do .element.width, .element.height. And here's the thing, we need to do ctx instead. Is that it? No, here it is again. ctx. Okay, any more errors? No errors. Cool. So that made the canvas a lot more simple, right? Instead of having that huge class. I do want to do one more thing, cd or spec tac, and we can do a pvd, and I want to see if our app is still working, even though we changed the code, and it seems to still be working. Cool. Yeah, so let's go through his review here one more time. So he talks about the grid here as well. The grid abstraction consists of one large class that deals with game logic, drawing, and player interaction, all in one class. There are a small set of types defined to formalize the game state. These types do, however, mix information related to the game logic and data required for rendering, even if the render data is derived from the game state. The complete game state is also not defined on its own, but instead implicitly in the properties of the class. The cell state is defined using enum with 3 values, the player state, and then defined as hard-coded explicit subset of enum. This can be avoided by using sums in the definition of the cell state. Okay. Player, cell state. Yeah, so I think I like this one. So let's see if we can implement this. So we were talking about the grid, right? So basically, enum right, it should be like that. And XO. Okay. Player is equal to player. And okay. And then we could remove we could basically remove this one and this one. And the player state, okay, the player state is equal to cell state. Okay, player state, cell state is actually equal to player dot x or player dot o. Okay, new cell is equal to, I think we can actually just return this, because we're going to remove this is winner thing from the what it's called, from the winner, from the cell. I think we actually can just do null, because that means that, yeah, because when they're null, they're actually 0, so that means no one has played on that cell. Const players, t player states is equal to e player dot x, e player dot o. So that's one way we can do it, and we're going to have a bunch of other problems here as well. Column into text. So if state is equal to null, then we want to return null. Else if state is equal to is equal to t player state dot t player dot e player dot ox. Otherwise, if we are e player dot y, no, if state is equal to e player dot o. Okay, probably have some other issues here as well. If column is equal to player, and if column is equal to player, if column is equal to null, if this is equal to this dot current player, and set winner cells, we're actually going to have to, we're going to change this set winner cells thing is to color the winning cells when someone has when someone wins the game. But we're going to do that a bit differently. I don't like how we did it because we're actually modifying the cells or modifying the state, and it's not always what you want to do. So if this is winner thing, we're actually going to just put false here for now. And okay, so I think we're good there. So let's just see if things are still working. Obviously this winning cell thing is not going to work, but other than that, things seems to be okay. Let's go through what more he has to say about this. The game state can then be defined with board state, cell state, game state is equal to turn, player ID, board state. And then define actions for updating the board state. Get winner. Type play. We could then define actions. The game state can be defined as okay, so we can do this, and this would be this turn the player. Okay, and then we could remove the I think we can remove the cells, and we could do game state is equal to the type of game state, and then we can do this dot game state dot turn, or we can do this dot game state is equal to e player dot x. No, yeah, e player dot x. So turn, and we would also have the board, which is a board state, and that state is equal to this. Basically, board, what is it complaining about? Board, oh, it's because we need to wrap this in another one of those, I suppose. Board, yeah, that should do it. Let's actually make this a bit prettier, like so. Cells does not exist on grid. This dot game state dot board. This dot game state dot board. This dot game state dot board. And this dot game state dot board. Game state board. Game state dot board. Game state dot board. Do we have any more of those? Yes, of course we do. This dot game state dot board. Dot game state dot board. Is that all? Maybe property cells, line 107. So okay. Now let's see if things are still working. I think so. Yeah, I'm just going to assume that it is. So then we can define actions for updating the board state. can derive data from game state. The grid class does too many things, does not abstract that well, and provides little separation between different layers of the application. It's also hard code, so most variable related to game board size. The app class is quite simple, straightforward, but does not have any purpose of being a class. So, basically, if we would do both of these, we could basically get rid of the class. I'm not sure we're going to do this in this video though. But what I do want to fix for now is get rid of the app class, I think. It really doesn't have to be a class. Did he have any suggestion? No, not really, but basically what we could do is I think we could just do something like this, const type app state is equal to canvas, and maybe a grid. Are we even using the CX and the CB things? Yeah, we're clearing the rect using those, okay. So what I am proposing is that we'll have a const mk app maybe, which will return an app state, and it will basically return a this thing with a canvas which is equal to this. And it will also contain a grid, new grid. We're gonna need the canvas here, grid. We're gonna need the canvas. Canvas. So maybe we should, I think we can do it like this instead. And we're going to do const canvas is equal to this, and then we'll do return this, and we're going to do this, and we're doing this, and then we're going to do that. Okay, so we have the mk app thing, which is complaining is equal to this. Okay, anything else that we need to do with this? I think we're going to want to maybe just have a const start app state app state, and this would basically just do it would basically do this, I think, sort of. Const update app equals to app state. Actually, we will do this, and we would do Update app. And this would be calling, loop, possibly. We would do const app is equal to mk app, and we would do const loop is equal to this something like that. Maybe this should be called update app instead, and we'll remove this. And the start app, no, maybe it should be called just call it update app, and the start app method would basically just call update app start app, and this would call update app, right? App. This would call without that, and we don't need this. I'm not sure I like that though. Start app. What if we did this and we did this and we put you inside of there, like so, and we would do something like that, and we would do that, and maybe we can call this init app, and we would do something like that, and we would do something like that, and maybe this one will even return the app. So wait a minute, we don't need this. Okay, that makes good. Let's call this start app, and this would actually call update app like that. Okay, looks good. And we're still using this here. Let's do app dot canvas dot ctx app dot canvas dot element dot width app dot canvas dot element dot height. We should probably add this last time number, current time number, FPS number, and we still need to do this. We can put this here like so, and we can do last time, current time, like so, and we can do, oh god, 0. Why are you mad? Oh, the FPS, FPS 0. There we go. And this tick and draw things, we're not really we could just do something like this, const app tick is equal to app state. I don't know if it's even going to need the app state. It's basically just, well, it's going to need the app state actually. We're going to do app dot grid.tick app.grid.draw, and we can remove these and we can replace it with app tick app, and like that. Okay, and I think now we can get rid of this whole thing. Loop. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good. So now what we can do is basically just the following: const app is equal to mk app, const, and then what we would do is just start app. And that should be it, I think. Let's see if it still works. Yeah, it seems to be working. So we got rid of that app class. That feels great. We're still dependent on this canvas thing here. I don't really like that. Maybe even the app should have the canvas element here. Canvas element, HTML canvas element, and we would do canvas element. And so now that hasn't any dependency on that, and we would do this instead as HTML canvas element, because this is basically what the user of this API would call. So this is like what is called exposed user API. It is okay if we have a dependency to the document here. This would not be the code below would not be included in a distributed version of this application. So that's pretty cool. Now, is there any way, any other way for me to simplify this a bit? I think we could, it's not really necessary, but we could actually, because this one doesn't really care about the HTML canvas element, it just cares about our own defined canvas type. So what we can do is actually put this, we can have this one actually I don't know, we could have it, I don't know, maybe that's good, I don't know. I don't know how I would do it the other way, but that actually I don't like that it's dependent on that. Maybe we should do just canvas, and then we would basically do a const canvas equal to empty canvas, and we would do this, something like that, empty app canvas, which means that we can simplify this one even more. We could do, we can remove this, and we can just have it return the object like this. And let's make it a bit prettier. There we go. So we got rid of that app class as well. Maybe we should make this one a bit easier to read, because why not? Okay, it's actually fun to make your code more simple. I love removing code. I love removing code more than I enjoy writing code, actually. So now we have this thing here. I'm thinking actually the app state might actually, maybe that one should even have the game state, right? So basically you would have this inside of the app state, and the app state would then pass the game state down to the child components, or whatever you want to call it. So actually let's do it like this. Let's put these things in a other folder called types so that we can reuse them everywhere. So let's do that, and then we can do touch types.ts, and we could put these here, and it doesn't complain. Good. So we can do import from types. I think, am I allowed to do that? No. But we can do as, let's just import t cell state, t player state, t player. Are you happy? No. T winner result. Property game state does not exist on grid. That's fine. Now we can have you. We can have you take in the state instead. So basically, what we would do is in the constructor we would have a initial state of type game state, and we would do set state. And actually we don't, this one shouldn't care about this at all, so we would remove this actually, and what we would do is go into the app, and the app will have a game state. So when we create the app, we also want to have, maybe we should have a function called const make game state, which is equal to something like that. And of course we would also have to import those things. This shouldn't be here, we're going to put it here. Actually we're going to put it here, and we're going to have to import what it's called, e player t cell state from types. So, and this one should return a game state, and it should be game state mk game state, like that. And this one is mad because I messed some things up, so we're going to remove the dependency of that. Like that. Now it's not going to know how to get that game state, or it doesn't know how to access it, which is a problem, of course. So the grid is currently dependent on the game state. Now there are ways around this, like if we got rid of the class and instead kept the state in some sort of linear function progression thing, we could remove the dependency of the game state. I'm thinking if we could do this simply. I don't want this video to get too long, you know. I don't know how long it is already. So it's possible that we might do that in another video, but I don't know. I really want to fix this. Maybe we should just get rid of this class and just work our way through the errors. So basically, we could probably, I mean, do the grid really need to have a state? Yeah, it doesn't need to have a state. Or actually, it could be sort of stateless, I suppose. We could do the same thing as we do here. So basically, we could do a type grid state is equal to, and we want to know the player index. Maybe that should actually be inside of the game's player index. Are we even using the player index now? Yeah, we are using the player index. But I'm thinking the player index should actually be inside of the game state. So the game state should have it actually has the player. Could do player index number, and the player index will be 0, like that. Okay. And now what we want to do here is actually get rid of this. What does the grid state even need to have? I think the winlock thing should be in the game state as well. So winlock boolean. So we could do winlock false. So do we even need to keep anything in here? I think maybe, I mean, the grid size or the cell width could be just constant variables, possibly. So we could basically just do something like this. We can create a type called export type rect with number height number, and we can basically just do import that, import rect, oh sorry, rect, and we can have a const get cell size is equal to rect, and it would basically return this width, and it would return this. Okay, and actually it should be like that, and it should be like that, and this shouldn't be here. This should be replaced with a comma, and this should be replaced with a nothing. And we should put the canvas here as a dependency, so canvas. So now we have a function to get that, the width and height. Cool. So basically now what we need here is basically just cell size of type rect. I think that might be all that we need. And we're going to have a function called const mkGrid state is equal to grid state, and it will return cell size. It will return get cell size, and it will use the canvas, which will be in here, canvas. Grid state, why are you mad? Oh. Cell size. Must return it. Oh. Okay. That's all good. It should also actually have the game state, shouldn't it? Should be dependent on the game state. So let's import the game state. And we're going to have it here, game state, and the game state, game state, game state, and I think actually the game state, if I remember correctly, it's actually in here. No, it's not in there. It's in types. No, where did I put the game state? No, it is here, game state. Okay. Never mind. Where were I? We were in the grid. Okay, so then we also want to use the game state. And let's just wrap it like that. And this could basically just be a helper function, like this. Const column to text. And this could probably also be just a helper function. Const draw text is equal to, and we're going to take in we're going to take in a canvas. Maybe we should have it as a first argument actually. So first you specify which canvas you want to draw on basically. So canvas, and we can remove this. And we can do that. And we can also, let's extract these winner functions. Like so. So const, and what we can do is have a, we're going to have a dependency on the game state. So we're going to do game state, or do we need the cell size? I don't think we need a cell size here. So we can just do game state. And we can remove this. And this. And this. And we're going to do const, and we're going to do sort of the same thing here, game state, and we're going to remove this, and we're going to remove this, and this, and then we have the get winner function is equal to game state, and you're going to want the game state. Oh, crap. Game state. And we can even simplify this further by doing return this or this. Crap. Right now, we still haven't implemented the vertical binning. You can't move, sorry, diagonal. But it's coming, I promise. We're going to do this refactoring first because it's fun. There we go. This grid class is getting really small now. So I think we can remove the set state thing. The on-click thing, though. The on-click thing. Yeah, I don't know. Let's do this. This should probably be not a function of the grid. It makes more sense to be maybe in the app. I don't know. I think the game state should be in its own file actually, but actually the we'll do that soon. But okay, const next player is equal to that, and you're going to do that, and you're going to be dependent on the game state. Game state. This dot game state players. This one can also be in here. T player state. There we go. And we don't want to use this. We're going to use game state. Current player is equal to right now we're actually manipulating the state, which is not what we want to do in the future. In the future, we actually want to have some sort of reducer or and to trigger these with actions. But we're starting small. Okay, we're starting small. So in our grid, which we already are, we now don't know what player is, but that's fine. We're going to fix that later. Maybe we should do it now. So we're going to do another file called game state maybe, and let's move all the game state related things into there. So we're going to move these things into there, and we're going to import some things. We're going to import T cell state and T player state. Where did we put the game state? You're going to follow me into that file as well. Maybe it should even be in the types. I don't know. Board state, T cell state. Did I put that in the types? Yeah, we already have that in there. So, oh wait, board state. Yeah, so we don't need to do that. And the game state is, well, that's just confusing. The types, export, remove that. There we go. And we're going to import game state from types. How about that? And we also want to import ePlayer. So ePlayer. And then we have an object is possibly undefined. Game state. What's 20? What? Are you kidding me? Object is possibly undefined. Game state line 20. This. Oh, we're using this here. It should be game state. Okay, so now in the grid we can do import players from game state. There's a problem. Oh, we haven't exported it. So export const players. There we go. So these are happy now. However, we still have this on-click thing. So how are we going to solve this? We're going to have the on-click. How will we? So, okay. const onClick equal to I don't know how we'll give it the game state though, but let's start by doing that, and we'll do, actually we're going to, how does the game state, it has a, okay, so we actually want to have the import mk game state from game state. Why are you complaining? Okay. So now we want to go ahead and in our, where were we? Grid. We can do, actually it's better if you don't need the game state. The grid has a reference to the game state. Okay, so you're actually only dependent on, well, you're indirectly dependent on the game state, but you're going to have a grid state. Grid state. And you're going to have a grid state dot game state. And we're going to have this, and we're going to have next player. And you want to have the grid state dot game state. And grid state dot game state dot current player does not exist on, it's called turn. Okay, so so the onClick is defined on the canvas element. So I'm thinking maybe we can put this in the make grid state possibly, or maybe we should have a yeah. Yeah, I think we should have a const init grid state is equal to grid state, and we're gonna want, we're gonna want to do this grid state dot game state dot grid state dot, where's the canvas get cell size? Oh, we're never applying it there. So maybe this one should have the canvas as well. Canvas. It doesn't hurt to put the canvas in here as well, I guess. Canvas. So we can just do canvas, and then we can do grid state dot canvas dot element. Okay, in grid state, okay, and the constructor, we don't need this anymore. We're going to want to do this thing though. So we're going to do const on win is equal to this, which will do this, and set state is actually the, do we have that? Make grid state. Well, the winner is blah blah blah. Bind this. I guess we could do make grid state again to just reset it. So basically we could do because the app has the grid, which is of type grid. Oh, that's not right. It should be from grid. Actually import grid state like that. And we also have to export it, of course. So export type grid state. So now we have the grid state, and now we don't want to do that. We want to do mk grid state. So we're going to do mk grid state, and we're going to do mk grid state. And what do you want? I don't know. Nothing apparently. mk grid state. You want the game state? You want the game state? The game state hasn't been created yet. You want the game state. So I guess we could do const game state is equal to this, and then we would return this, and we would put you in here, game state, and we'll put you in here. Are you happy? No, you want the canvas too. Okay, grid state. You want to have the canvas. And let's also mk grid state. You don't have that function? mk grid state. mk. Oh. There we go. So this should also be replaced with maybe grid update app dot grid draw app dot grid, and we obviously haven't created those functions yet, so we're going to do a grid draw, grid update, okay, and then we're going to do we're going to add them here, but export const grid draw is equal to grid state grid state, and you'll just do nothing for now, and you too. And then we have these things, boards for each. Yeah, so these are the update functions. So we can just move this into the update function, grid update, and we could put you in here instead. And here we could do const winner is equal to get winner, which is dependent on the game state. So grid state dot game state. And okay, if grid state dot game state and on winner, and this set state thing, we have to remove that for now. And here we're going to do grid state dot game state dot winlock. Okay, now we have the draw function, And then we're actually almost done with converting this to a more functional approach. So grid draw. And we can remove this and this, and we can do this. And now we're going to do grid state. Grid state. Cell width does not exist on grid state. Cell size. Okay, cell size. We actually want to have grid state dot cell size dot width cell size dot height dot cell size dot width cell size dot height. And on these two, grid state dot cell size dot width cell size dot height. And column to text, we could just do that, I think. And we can remove this grid thing. We have some more errors on line 18. Obviously, possibly undefined. This dot on click. Okay, on click dot bind. Maybe we should put this below, like here. No, and we'll export it. Okay, and we'll also, I don't know, let's just export all of these. Export. And this one is a bit weirdly indented. Object possibly undefined. This should not be there. This should be grid state. And we have at line 49. Game state. And at line 63. I want to remove you from there, and at line 128, I want to remove that, and you are, I think you are dependent on the canvas, aren't you? So we have the draw text, and you are dependent on the canvas. So grid state dot canvas. Do we have any errors? 0 errors. Now, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to work right off the bat. Or am I wrong? Maybe it will. We are initializing the grid, and we're actually calling grid update and things. Let's just see. And yeah, something's not right. I don't think we have called the init grid state thing. So we have the init grid state, which maybe, do we have the make grid state? Yeah, we do. So what we could actually do is so that make grid state is never used here. So what we could do is put this here, and we can define this here, and we could do that grid state is equal to this, which, let's do this. This will return a grid state as well, so it will actually do this, and it will return the state afterwards. So it will do return grid state, and this one will just wrap. We'll just wrap this one like so. Init grid state. Cool. So now I think, no, game state undefined, grid.ts78. 78. Game state is undefined. Grid state. How are you undefined? Game state of undefined. So the problem is that grid state is undefined here, of course, because we're just attaching the onClick here. So bind this, bind this. So maybe we could just bind. We could just bind the grid state, and then we could use in our onClick function. Where are you? We could just remove this and use this instead of grid state. I think that's how it works. So we could do this. Object is possibly undefined. I think that warning could be ignored. No, cannot read board of undefined. Cannot read board of undefined. Why are you undefined? So cannot read board of undefined at line 78. 78. Is this really true? Board. Game state board. So game state is this not what I think it is? Console.log this. Dependencies, factory. No, it's not what I think it is. It's not what I think it is. Prototype, proto, value of. No, it's not what I think it is. It's definitely not what I think it is. Now bind this. onClick. Maybe we could just do this. onClick event grid state. Wait a minute. Okay. onClick and grid state. Grid state. And we're going to remove this again. Line 66. Yep. Grid state. There we go. And it seems to still be working. Now it doesn't reset the game because I haven't fixed this yet. As you see, I commented this out. So let's just do to do fix this. I'm not going to do that in this video, but this is pretty cool. We got rid of the classes. I think we got rid of all of the classes. I think we got rid of all of the classes. So here's the app. No class in here. The canvas, no class in here. The canvas got really simple. Game state, no class in here. Grid, no class in here. And no class in types. So, sorry about that. I'll put the link to the source code in the description, and we'll continue improving this in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.